Good day. Good day. Thank you for joining us today. You are watching the Legacy Continues podcast. I'm Melinda McGahee, the executive director of the Lovelady Center. And as I like to explain, every beginning of every podcast, the reason we are this is called the Legacy Continues because my mother, Brenda Lovelady Spawn, started this podcast called Real Talk with Miss Brenda, and she passed in December. And I can't help but say it, but since we can't talk about her, we can talk about her, but that's not nice. We do the Legacy Continues because of her crazy faith and her faithfulness and what she started through God's through where God had led her to do. There's so many lives that have been impacted, and we want to tell this story. And today's story is super special to me because it's as I I'm a firm believer in the legacy. His God's faithfulness works through legacy, and I think that I am a living example to that. And then today, our guest, my friends, my Lovelady family, Jenny
Hi.
and her daughter Monica, and we have a legacy duo here. I hope you're cheering. Woo! I'm cheering, cheering, cheering. So I asked them to come on. One, Jenny is, for those that don't know, is a graduate of our program, and also, and both Jenny and Monica are both employees here at the Lovelady Center, and Jenny is a dear, dear friend as well as Monica, and a partner in this ministry. Both are partners in this ministry, and not everybody's story, none of all our stories are different, but with Jenny and Monica, to see the impact and the influence that they have here at the Lovelady Center, and for me, knowing their story and where and how their story began, and to see the impact that they're making today is just an absolutely nothing but a God story, a true transformation, and beautiful hearts. And so I asked them if they mind sharing their story. So that being said, are we ready to share?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, then we're going to start with you, Jenny.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you to take us back before Lovelady. And if you don't mind, kind of give us some dates here so people know that just how in you are, that this isn't a phase or a fad, but this is true life transformation.
True
for
life
you.
transformation.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So take us back to what it looked like before Lovelady.
Before Lovelady, I had been, oh goodness, probably 18 years of addiction, 20 years of addiction, maybe. Started out with pain pills. Should have been being treated for depression, but instead found Loratab. Thumbed through a phone book one day, found a methadone clinic, and it really was just downhill from there. Someone mentioned that crystal meth would help with withdrawals from methadone, so went there, and it just progressed until I was a bad person. I was a very bad person. It just something overtook me.
During the season in your life, this was prior to children or during children?
During children.
So from in your addiction,
yes,
you were in addiction before you had children, stayed in addiction.
Yes. Well, I had my children, and I think early 20s. Had some trauma that resulted in depression, and should have been treated that way, and instead went to just self-medicated.
Yeah.
Began by self-medicating, and it just progressed. It became really bad with really bad drugs, and then willing to do anything to be high. Very, very neglectful of my children, and drugged them through all of it as well, me and their father. And so prior to Lovelady, it was bad. It was really bad.
And Monica, and you can answer as little or as much as you want of this question, but what do you remember about that season?
It was constant chaos and instability. I was playing an adult role that I was too young to understand taking care of my mom and my dad sometimes, constantly running to rescue in some way. Um, that's pretty much how all of it was.
Yeah, and then the want and heart to
Yes,
rescue,
yes,
and then
yes,
put in a
absolutely.
position trying to figure
Yeah.
that out.
It got to a point where prior to Lovelady, I was praying that God would take my mom's life so it would be easier.
I think I've heard you say before
Mhm.
that you felt it'd be easier for both of you.
Yeah. Yeah, I would take
It's
her out of her misery and I wouldn't have to chase her anymore.
um, that being said, at what point did you decide that something had to change?
So really, I wasn't in a place. It's almost like you've these habits and your brain and everything you just continue down this path, and I don't want to say you can't get off of it, but
You don't know to get off of it,
and yeah,
maybe. Okay.
maybe no
Yeah.
hope, no desire, no nothing. But I knew that prior to them, her and her sister telling me, you will never see us again or your grandchildren again. And my family saying, we're done with you. And I knew she meant it. I knew. Um, and I was out of options too. So it's almost like the decision was made for me.
Okay.
And truly, I came here to placate them. I did. I
I,
did
I
not
dare
believe it would
say
work.
I don't think you're the
I
first
did.
one to do that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I didn't believe anything would work. I had a lot of delusion happening, a lot of just so many years of delusion and crazy, crazy thoughts.
So when you came here, when you initially came to the Lovelady Center, your initial thought you're going just to do this because they said you
Yes.
wouldn't have them anymore.
Yes.
Between so from a legal perspective, from a
Mhm.
family's perspective, it was not because you wanted to, but because
That's correct.
it's just I it's where I'm at today.
It's where I'm at today. At the same time, I just had all these crazy, horrible, paranoid thoughts happening also, and I don't have to tell you about the problems with mental health also.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, and looking back, it was completely God.
Speaking of God,
Mhm.
did you have any faith or hope or belief
Not
in God
not
at
by
this
then.
point?
Not
Not
by then.
not
No,
then.
no.
What was your hope, Monica, when you and your sister Yara and family gave your mom this ultimatum? What was your did you have hope or were you just
Well, I started praying for her to just lose her life, and I hadn't seen my grandparents in a few years. I don't even know how they found me or got my number. And my grandfather called me and said, "We're going to go find her and we're going to put her in rehab." Prior to that call, I didn't have any hope. The only hope was death. But when he started looking, and there were people that cared besides just me, um, it started growing.
so tell us about so you come to the Love Lady Center,
Yes.
no hope, no intentions
Mm-mm.
of changing. Did you know something needed to change?
Yeah, but I didn't think it would.
Okay.
I didn't think it would, and even more than that, I didn't think I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the journey, the transformational journey.
The transformational journey, in the beginning, I was not used to anyone just loving someone like me, you know. So that took a minute. Why are why these people aren't really clean for that long? Nobody is. They're just waiting for a safe time to use. And little by little, I saw the heart of the staff, and through that, the heart of Christ through that, and badgered your mother for I don't know how long. I don't know how many times. Um, yeah, I remember one time asking her something, and she just kind of looked at me like, But she always
Would,
said,
like, look at you like, "What,
like,
why are you asking me that?" Or, "That's a
are you
tough
crazy?"
question."
Yeah,
Are you
that it was yeah.
tough, so it's
I don't
tough.
remember
I
what it
remember
was, but
mom,
yeah.
mom spoke of tough questions.
Mhm.
Uh, uh, just, I think, kind of a catcherman, kinda like a catcher, like, is
Right.
this,
Yeah.
but mom, I think mom valued, she appreciated challenges.
She sure did,
Yeah,
and she told me if she didn't know the answer to something, we will find it, and she did,
she
and we
did.
did, and little by little, that logic and that
Just
mixed with
because,
the heart.
and this is a little side topic here, but just because I know, because I would ask mom so many questions, and she would come off with so many answers, and sometimes I'm like, "Is she making that up?" And I'd go and like research it and figure out she's not
She's
making it
not making
up.
that
She knew
up.
it.
Wow.
Did you do that with
I
any of her
did. Yeah,
questions?
and
Yeah.
she turned me on to Louis Giglio,
Okay.
the Creation Museum.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It just
Okay.
yeah.
When was that? When did you come here to the Lovelady Center?
2011,
Okay.
February 28th, 2011
Okay.
was the last time I used
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
Uh, and yeah, 14 years. Yeah.
For you, Monica, when did you start to notice a change with your mom?
While she was in the program, I don't think that we really had much contact other
Mhm.
than, she would see the grandkids, um,
Yeah.
ask to get them, but just me and her, we didn't really
Yeah.
have much contact. It was after, when I needed help that she started stepping in and showing that she was trying to play the mom role, I guess,
Okay.
instead of the roles being reversed. Um, and I found myself in a position after everything, being homeless with 2 kids and coming here, and it was a steady growth, I guess, with her apologizing, for things she didn't even have to apologize. She just, it was her recognition of how wrong growing up was, I guess.
Okay.
That yeah.
Okay.
Mm. Mm.
Um, so it was a process.
Yes, a long process.
Yeah. And you said that you were homeless with 2 kids, and you
Mhm.
came here with, your 2 kids, but you, just for clarity, I wanna make sure because I can remember it differently, and I wanna remember correctly.
Okay.
You didn't come in the program, so to
No.
speak, you just came to live with your mom. Is
Yes.
that right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
With your 2 children,
Yes.
and, that at the same time, um, coming here to live with her helped you in the process as
Yes.
well, right?
Yes. Yes.
I think that, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's beautiful when even just seeing, what a wonderful mother and grandmother
Mhm.
you
Thank
are,
you.
and a wonderful mother you are, and how stable, uh, you are, the home you've provided for your children. It's hard for me to see.
Yes.
It's hard for me to see either one of
Yes.
y'all's. Like, y'all described yourselves as
I
kind of like when Paula describes her life. I'm like, huh?
You're like,
And I know I was here. I saw it. I saw it. But God is so good,
he's so
Yes.
good.
and as you surrender
Mm.
your life to Him,
Mm.
and then, and we're getting to my favorite part, and that's, you've turned your life into wanting to serve Him
Yes.
and to
Yes.
help women, and I know that, you don't work directly, your position
Uh-huh.
doesn't, work directly with women, but though you do on so many ways.
Yeah.
Um, Tell me, what inspired you to want to choose here to work?
Mm. Ooh, that's a good question. Well, it was a no-brainer that uh, that I received twice. I received life twice in this building. It's a no-brainer that I'd want to stay here. I was born here
Okay,
in
physically born
'71
here. Okay,
and then reborn here,
okay,
and
in 2011.
it was just the torch,
Okay,
watching that torch being carried,
yeah,
and the passion of doing it. Watching you and watching your mother and it's the legacy continues is also in the daily life. That's what our
oh, yeah,
legacy also is. The daily life of walking this out and just watching leadership walk it out because it's not an easy job. this is a hard job.
It is a hard job.
Yeah.
It's
But when
it's
it doesn't seem hard to you, there's a reason for that.
yeah,
Ah,
it's a beautiful job.
calling,
Yeah.
calling.
I would definitely
Yeah.
say that you're called. What made you decide to work here with and so you don't work, I know you don't work directly with your mom. You
Mhm.
work directly with Women in Restoration, which is and SRP. Um and I know that you've done several different positions here. Uh what made you want to work here?
Purpose.
Purpose?
Purpose and, knowing, there was a point in my life where I didn't ever think that, uh, my mother could be an actual human being, you know? Um, mm, I know that if God did it for her, he would absolutely do it for anyone, and there's nothing like being able to just see somebody who is completely broken and them know they're seen. And just
Mm.
hear them and that it's purpose so that they know that it can happen for them too.
I mean, I know, and I know that I hear people tell me when you've shared your story, and I don't think you shared a lot. And I think you probably should share a little bit more because so many times do I hear people say, Melinda, Monica's story. And I think that just know that your passion to help women, to help the moms
Yes.
get back to their daughters, I
Yeah.
think is pretty special and I think that's part of the legacy continues as your mom has a torch in hand that's worthy to pass on, and that you're doing that, but then you're helping other mothers do that with their daughters, and I think
That's good.
it is beautiful. It's beautiful, and I love it, and that's why I wanted y'all to come on here and share so bad with me because it's a beautiful. Is it not a beautiful story, y'all? Um, I lost my train of thought. Let me see. I had other questions for sure. All right. So I'm going to ask it, and hopefully it's not a bad question, but a little tricky question. What is like the biggest lesson that you've learned in this transition?
Hmm.
In the transition from her past to
Yes.
now and my
Yeah.
past to
Yeah.
now, um, patience.
Okay.
Patience, absolutely.
That's
Patience
good.
is the lesson.
That's good.
Waiting on God for sure.
Okay.
Um, it's like when she first got here and you started seeing the change just a little bit, trusting God to make it come full circle, but still also, we're human. We still doubt every single time something happens in your life. You hold tight because is this going to be the relapse?
Yeah.
It's like the divorce, people passing away. Is this going to be what the enemy uses to take her out?
Yeah.
It took about 10 years to realize that God had a very firm hand on her. So patience and waiting on him and seeing what he could bring out of all of it has been the biggest lesson.
That's good.
How about
Hmm. Um, the biggest lesson for me, the biggest thing for me. Hmm. And that's a good question. I
I could
echo everything that she says, of
yeah.
course. Um, learn.
Looking at your life,
Mhm.
me, I would say just seeing that there is a God,
Hmm.
a
Yes.
good
Oh,
God,
yes. Oh
Yes.
my gosh,
a
a
good.
very good God, and had the miracle of learning that all He really wants from us is to love Him and love others. Um, when I didn't really like people anyway. I mean, I didn't. I didn't. I'm so to me, that whole how do you love someone? And so learning that love is action, it's even just passing someone in the hallway and saying, "Good morning. That's a beautiful shirt." That's love. That's loving someone.
Yeah, you
Now,
love
of
and you
course, we
love
go
people
we go
well.
farther than that.
Yeah, no, you
Yes,
love people
yes.
well. So I don't know at what point. So if one thing that learning to love God, which I know we Scripture tells us that
Right,
if we love,
right.
to love Him, we have to love His people.
Yes.
And so if you did not love people before, to see how you
Right.
are with now, then just again justifies or testifies to who God is,
Right.
because you love well.
Thank you.
You
Thank
do.
you.
As you do too, but we good?
We good.
We
Oh,
good? Just
yes.
making
We're
sure, doing
good.
a little
Yes.
pulse check over there, making sure we're good. All right. So if you have, let's say I'll go you first.
Okay.
There's someone out there, a woman out
Okay.
there with a few children, a couple of children,
Okay.
couple daughters,
Yes.
and they need help. Not the children need help. The woman needs help. What would you tell her right
Okay.
now?
Oh, wow.
In that place that you were.
The place that I was, in the place I was at, you've just got to believe that you can believe. You have got to believe that it can happen for you. You just have to make that first step, that first call. Just step in the door. Yeah.
What about you?
That I would really, to the moms first, say to explain to your children that they're not the reason that your addiction started. I think that's one of the hardest things for kids to get over, is thinking that they can fix it and they're the cause. But also to the children that they're not the reason it started. Um, to just sit tight and give their moms an opportunity to correct it.
In doing what you do, I know that you see some children, adult children, do not give their mother that chance. And when I see you two here, and I see you here fulfilling your calling, and that you didn't have bitterness, you didn't have unforgiveness, and that
Yeah.
you were willing to say, I wasn't there then, but I'm here now. And both of you, the way that you've allowed God to move in both of your lives. And I know that sometimes we don't see that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we see the door shut, it's slammed, like it. I can't
Yes.
believe, I can't hope. What would you say to
That child.
that child?
Um, it's really hard for a woman who's trying to go back and see things the way that the child saw it, because it was two completely different perspectives.
Mm.
And don't hold it against them if they don't see it the way you did. They're trying now. They're doing what they need to do now. So give them the opportunity. They're doing everything they can at this point. They can't go back and change it.
Yeah, no, I like that, because I've over the years, as I've talked to, I'll talk to the mother, and then I'll talk to the child at all different ages,
Yeah.
and their stories are night and day,
Yes.
night and day, and and it's and we do that in life, no matter what the
Yeah.
situation is. But I think addiction, and you know, it's definitely
Yeah.
intensifies.
It is. It not until your mother started gathering information for the book, the second book, was I aware of, and I mean, quite literally, did not remember things, and from her perspective, and I thank God now that I was clean for so long when I realized. It wasn't just a huge party that we were protecting them from. It
Yeah,
wasn't. It was so
Yeah.
much worse.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And
yeah.
I appreciate you saying that. So, because I think that's a lesson that we can learn.
Yeah.
I know we're kind of losing a little bit of time here. Don't have much time.
Okay.
But I think that's important. Something that it's been 14 years,
Yes.
right? And it was about 3 years ago that Mom wrote the book. Wrote the
Yes.
book that where you're telling me that you heard the story, where you realized it. So it took
Yeah.
that long
Yeah.
Yes.
for it to happen. So I think that that's definitely one thing that the adult kids need to
Yes.
hear,
Yes.
is don't that it might, you might not get the aha moment or the revelation or anything right now, but the thing is learn who appreciate who they can be today,
Yes.
love them through it, and let the Lord move in both of your lives. Because if they
Yes.
what I would see, I couldn't imagine if you did not allow the Lord to move in your life and that you kept that barrier up, where would you be?
Yeah.
Where would your children be? And then where would the women be that you help every day?
Yeah.
That's right.
Just
Yes.
so when we talk about and then we know, and what if um God answered her first prayer and took your
Right.
life
Yeah.
and you didn't have.
Yes.
I love, who you are on this side of things. And
Right.
I am so grateful for his mercy and his grace, and his mercy and grace is here for every single one of you, every single one of us, and that we all bask in it, um and then we surrender our lives to him, and then we pick up whatever torch that the Lord is trying to hand
Yes.
off to us, and that we
Yeah.
walk it out.
Yes.
Um, is there anything else that you want to say to our listeners?
I think that's good, right?
I think it's been
It's
good.
completely sidelined, but eventually that moment comes that
Mhm.
you realize, hey, I'm really never going to use again. I'm really not. And for me, it was within the first 2 years. I'm really never going to do that again. Wow, and you don't. I mean, you come to that point. Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
Just got to believe.
And I've seen it.
You just got to believe.
I've seen it, walked out.
Yeah.
What an honor, what a privilege. Thank you. Thank y'all for especially as much as you were beside mom's side, doing
Yeah.
all that you did, and helping that legacy. She shared the stories,
Yeah.
and
No,
that
that
you've
was my honor.
always been
Yeah.
doing that for her, and helping this legacy continue, helping your
Yes.
and your family's legacy continue. And Monica, thank you for sharing that torch with your mom. I know I loved working with my mom. It had its challenges, but I love and
Well,
but
we thank you for helping light it. So,
but
while we're all here.
but I appreciate y'all both so much for being here and
Thank you.
sharing y'all's story. I know that puts you in a vulnerable place, and I appreciate you sharing. But I also think it's a testimony to what God wants to do in other people's lives,
Yeah.
and what he wants to do in other mothers and children and daughters'
Yes.
lives. And I don't want y'all to be the only mother-daughter duo. I know
No.
it started with a mother-daughter duo.
Yes.
We've
Yes.
got other mother-daughter duos, and
Yes.
if you're I, God is in the business of restoration and creating beautiful, wonderful teams and teams and families,
Yeah.
and it's just want to encourage you uh if, to be everything that God created you to be, no matter what situation or position you're in, whether it be similar to mine, Jenny's, or Monica's. Is just give it to God and let's see what He can do, and be sure that you are creating a legacy worth leaving. Thank you so much for signing in today.